Hi everyone, Melissa here. Today is my August entry for my Birthstone series. Now I'm not doing peridot at the moment. I just wasn't really inspired by a design for it yet. I may end up doing one towards the middle of the month. I have not decided for sure yet. I do love greens, but for some reason I don't love to wear them that much, so we'll see what I can come up with. But for today, I'm going to be doing what is the second birthstone for August, and it's called Sardonyx. In case you don't know what Sardonyx is, here is a stone. And I'm actually going to be doing pretty simple design, just trying to recreate the pattern on this stone as nearly as I can. So for this design, I'm going to be using Dipp'd's my favorite cardigan, Salmon from Cascade Colorworks, and Casper the Friendly Ghost for white. And these are the only three colors I'm going to be using. I know these are very fall-y colors, but it's August, so that means it's fall colors from here on out, right? Maybe just for me. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and put down the solid colors I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be doing my favorite cardigan on these three, salmon here, and then we'll be doing the design on the ring finger. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip out my solid colors and then get on with the rest. Okay, so I've got those solid colors dipped. I'm going to just activate these and let them, they can dry out while I'm doing the design. Okay, I'm gonna start with just a single dip of one of the colors on this nail just to lay a foundation so that if there are any cracks between the lines of the marble, there will still be color showing underneath. I am gonna be doing my agate style marble technique, so it's going to work perfectly to get this look, and I'll be adding a little extra detail to it at the end to kind of make it look just like the stone, hopefully. I am going to be doing, I know usually when I do this I'll use the medium color, the middle color, as the base layer. However, this color does not give as smooth a coat because of the white base. It doesn't give smooth a coat as this one does, and one dip of it is pretty medium colored. It doesn't come out as dark, so that's going to be just fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay out one dip. Okay, that gives a nice clean layer there. I'm just going to clean up, make sure the cuticle is nice and clean around here. And then I'm actually going to activate this and then put another layer of dip base over the top, so that we'll be working over a nice smooth surface. Alright, and I'm just giving that dip base a minute to dry, and while that dries, I'll go ahead and let you know what I'm wearing on my left hand. This is a color called Those Baby Blues, and it's a new color that's going to be coming out from Dipp'd on August 8th. At noon central. So it's a really beautiful baby blue, almost slightly periwinkle. I mean, it's a beautiful blue color, so definitely check that out when it comes out. Okay, so now this layer is dry, we can go ahead and start working on the agate design. Now, if you would like to, you can use a smaller tipped brush to try and get thinner lines for this. I still find that just using the tip of the actual dip base brush itself works better for me. I feel like I can push up against the edges better, and I kind of want a little bit thicker layer of liquid to go down so that when I push at the layers, there's more powder in them. You'll see what I mean when I get into this if you haven't seen my agate marble technique before. But I'm going to start with, okay, so I have my colors here. I'm just going to, for the sake of ease, going to just use the lids to pour over, as we are going to be doing pour over for this. So I'll be pouring over each color into its corresponding lid. To start, I'm going to get my dip base here, get most of the liquid off, and I'm just going to come up to the cuticle and I'm going to put this red color just kind of along the top here, and it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be cleaning it up with my cuticle pusher, fixing up that line. I'm going to go ahead and pour this over the top there, covering the whole part that I just painted on. And then I'm just going to get my little cuticle pusher here, the scraper edge, and kind of push this. I'm actually going to do kind of another layer over the top just to add some thickness so that when we file down we don't file off the layers, but I'm also going to use that to make sure that this cuticle area is clean. And there was a part that I accidentally lifted off, so I'm going to fill that in too. Just gently filling in that area. Okay, now I'm going to get my dip base brush. Again, we're doing a much thinner line this time, so I want to make sure that I'm getting most of that liquid off of the brush again, and I'm just going to bump right up against the edge here and just deposit a small line of liquid. I'm going to pour the salmon over. And again, just going to come in here and push that into a thinner line right up against the edge of that red. Kind of pushes it up so it gets kind of dimensional. I don't know why this won't focus on my finger. Here we go. So it gets kind of dimensional and sticks out there up above where the red is, but you get a nice thin line of that dip powder color right there. And don't have to do a second layer of that one, of course, because when you push it up, you get plenty of depth there with it. Okay, and I'm gonna do some more of the red. Not a super thin line, we're gonna do just a slightly thicker line. I am kind of trying to follow the pattern of, as I said, that inspiration stone that I showed you. I just loved the look of it. Kind of trying to follow that pattern and mimic it as much as possible. So again, I'm depositing enough liquid there. If you don't deposit enough, if you have a thin layer, when that powder goes on, it's gonna dry quickly and you aren't gonna have enough time to move the powder and straighten out the line and put it where you want it. So you wanna make sure there's enough on there for you to work with. Okay, now that I have all of the colors laid down, in the order I want them. I'm gonna go ahead and activate this, and I'm gonna give it a good amount of time to dry. You wanna make sure you use an activator that you know goes down into the deeper layers. So usually I would suggest a slower drying activator. I won't usually use my double dipped activator for this just because it's a very, very quick drying activator. I'm using this ASP Bioset resin activator, and I feel that because it dries slower, really gets down into the dip layers. Okay, when you feel like this has dried enough, you can start going into file it. If it starts to seem like pieces are kind of, crumbling off, kind of peeling away, instead of filing away, then you want to wait a little bit longer and let it keep drying before you get into filing it, or you can really mess up the design. So I'm just going to file the nail to shape like I normally would. So along the side, cleaning up the sideline. Alright, I tell you what, this technique is so incredibly satisfying to file, to go from what it was and then filing down and seeing what is underneath is so incredibly satisfying. It's kind of time consuming to create, but oh, I love filing down and seeing what's underneath. So we do have, and you may have little holes and cracks in between some of the lines, and it's really easy to get. Instead of trying to file it down so that all of those are gone, you may end up filing off some of your color, some of your layers. So instead of doing that, we're just going to do a dip of clear over the top and then activate and file again to get just a nice smooth nail. Okay, for extra detail, I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to be pulling out gels or anything. I'm just going to be using my little flowery 4-in-1 white nail pencil. It's great just for adding little bits of detail. I'm actually kind of cleaning up some spots where the red went a little crazy down here. But I mostly just want to notice there's white kind of in this bottom half of the nail, but there's none up here in these really thin, salmon lines. So I'm just gonna kind of add, it's like a thin white line to the bottom of these. Okay, I think that'll be fine. I didn't do a lot, and probably wouldn't have been too noticeable if I hadn't even done it at all. But I'm going to just go ahead and activate and Alright, and there we go with the Sardonyx for August. Let me know what you think about this design, if you love it, if you hate it, if you wish I had done Peridot. Just let me know. Feel free to comment below, and I'll see you next time.